I'm here because I feel that none of the main parties serve the majority anymore. I feel that they're serving corporate interests, and that leaves us in a new terrain, really. We are unrepresented in this country. No one is looking after our interests. And it's very interesting if you look at the percentage of millionaires in the UK cabinet. I think it's quite telling. 2/3 of them are millionaires with a combined wealth of £70 million. This means our country is being led by people who have no experience of what it's like to struggle to pay your bills, to choose between losing a house or sending your kid to university. So, in fact, we have a system which is ripe for abuse because our leaders are passing laws all the time which they remain completely unaffected by. And at the same time, they have the gall to label those at the bottom as scoundrels, which I think is absolutely disgusting, because the real scoundrels are those who are creaming off huge amounts of public money at no risk and keeping it. You know, they share they're totally happy to keep the profit, but they're very generously sharing the deficit with us all. So I think this is a hugely dangerous situation. As a disabled person, of course, I have been awarded DLA. As we know, the government are planning to really dismantle that benefit under the guise of reform. It's not reform, it's cuts. The amount wasted, the amount in fraud of DLA comes to a figure like 60 million a year. These reforms are costing £710 million to implement, and when you add in the £1 billion the government are paying ATOS and other private companies to carry out assessments that could be carried out by NHS doctors and no extra cost to the taxpayer, you suddenly realise, hang on, this isn't about saving money. It's been said by every panelist here, this is definitely not about money. There is money, it's in the hands of a few. And we're living in a time where those very few dominate and control everything, and the many have to stand up and say, enough is enough. And I think this movement isn't radical. I think this movement is common sense and fair. What's radical is what's happening now. The leaders are pursuing a radical and disgusting and immoral agenda. They're the radical ones. This movement is purely saying, let's take back the reins of power and let's have a government for the people. By definition, government is for the people. And when the government talks about saving money or not spending money on welfare, it sounds like it's their money. It's our money for us. It sounds like a simple idea, but that's lost. This money isn't for rich, wealthy people to play with and to buy extra yachts. As a taxpayer, I'm so happy to know my money goes on funding welfare, on funding health, on looking after those who need it. I'll tell you what I'm embarrassed about. I'm embarrassed about funding illegal wars and making people in other countries disabled. That, to me, is a no-no. I don't want my money spent on that. I'm proud to fund a state which looks after people who need it. That's what civilization means. Civilization means creating a better world for everybody. These are not radical ideas. They're fucking human ideas. And, you know, so basically I'm here because we need to find common goals. We have a corporate-led government and largely a corporate-led media. So it is difficult to bring these ideas to the masses. But I tell you, we've got numbers on our side. Most people, it's been discovered, when they're asked on policy, they are incredibly left-wing. You say, do you want an NHS? They say yes. Do you want free education? Yes. Do you want tax loopholes closed? Yes. The will is there. It's not hard. I'll challenge you to find someone on the street who says, fuck the NHS, I don't want it. You know, you're not going to find that. So, to me, what this movement is about morality. It's not about left wing, it's not about right wing, it's not about socialism, it's not about labels which have baggage and can alienate people. It's about tapping into policies which the majority want. And I think if we stick to trying to represent those views and find out what those views are, I think people will come on board and we can challenge this idea that there is no alternative. Because frankly, cynicism serves us in power. So if anyone thinks they're not political, they're the most political of all, because they're keeping things the way they are. So I just believe that we need to keep fighting for a fairer system and be heartened by the fact that these ideals are not radical or impossible or strange. They're just ideals that most people believe in.